Anthrax with Among the Living, 9 tracks, 50 minutes, the third studio album of the American thrash band, released March 1987 by Megaforce and Island, produced by the band Eddie Kramer and John Zazula, recorded at Quad Radial Studios in Miami and Compass Point Studios in Nassau. 2 singles were released in I Am the Law and Indians. This album peaked number 62 in the US, number 18 in the UK, number 43 in Sweden, and was certified gold in the US in 1990. This was the last album to have writing contributions from original bassist Danny Lilka.
This is Anthrax at their thrashiest and heaviest, if you ask me. This album is absolutely ball-tearing. It is a monster of an album. And just the title track alone, Among the Living, that intro, how it just builds and builds and builds. And that is the catalyst of what you're going to get. And the album really doesn't let you go. This is easily one of my favourites. And it's probably their masterpiece. I think it's actually regarded as their actual album that just flawless, and I think it is. It's high octane energy. The musicianship is just insane at this point. The band is really locked in. They're playing fantastic. Charlie Benanti being one of my favourite drummers. He's playing some fast beats, but they're not blast beats. And that's the really cool thing.
Great swing in his playing too.
And the rhythms, everything is just on, you know. And there's a reason why a lot of these songs are staples in their set still to today. Caught in a Mosh, I'm the Law, NFL, Indians, you know. It just keeps going on and on and on. This album for me is a 10.
Wow, cool.
I could name every song on the album. I loved it. It was great going back to it again. I thought the production is a little muddy. I think they're trying to push everything a little bit too much, if I'm going to get nitpicky on it. But it's leaning towards the right way of where everything was sort of sitting in the late 80s and mid to late 80s.
Yeah, it fits the vibe of the era,
NFL and Indians I put out as standouts, but really the whole album from start to finish is a killer album. 10 out of 10.
Cool.
Okay, Among the Living, for me, this is Anthrax's masterpiece. For me, it's my favourite Anthrax album. Just Pips spreading the disease for me, by the way, so a bit of a spoiler there for you. But I'm like Mick, every song on this album I can listen to over and over again and not get sick of it. Normally with thrash, I'm a little bit picky, and so I listen to it and I'm like, okay, well, these 2 songs are okay, skip, and there's another good song. Not on this one. This one, as soon as Among the Living starts, I don't turn it off until the end of the song, until the end of Imitation of Life. Like I say, it's them at their best. This is, for me, Joey Belladonna singing at his best as well.
Okay.
I don't think he ever topped this. I mean, he on later albums he was pushed more forward into the mix so you can hear him better. But in terms of pure vocal delivery and phrasing, this is him at his peak. And you can actually see, I know this is a thrash metal show we're doing tonight, but you can actually see why he likes bands like Journey and stuff, because he's so fucking melodic on this as well. Just his phrasing's ridiculous. For me, just the musicianship is off the board on this as well. You mentioned the drummer, was it Benanti? Charlie, yeah. I keep getting mixed up.
I know him really well. That's why I call him by his first name. You know, me and Charlie hang out all the time.
We're all on intimate terms with these bands, clearly.
Well, like I say, my close mate, the D-Man, Dan Spitz. Actually, I've got a Dan Spitz story I've got to tell another time. He's just...
I was about to say, don't take it out of the context.
The way that Dan Spitz and Scott Ian play off each other on this is ridiculous. Again, there's a bit of panning left to right in solos, everything like that, but you can actually see who's playing what, you can actually hear who's playing what part.
Yeah, they're very distinctive in what they do.
Well, that's what I was going to say. The thing is, Dan and Scott have got such different styles from each other, but it works so bloody well. You know, so for me, I can't fault this album. Mick mentioned it before. There's a reason that a lot of these songs are still staples in the set list, is because they're fucking so good, and this album is that good as well. They never topped it. For me, Among the Living, Caught in a Mosh, Skeleton in the Closet I liked, Imitation of Life I liked, Indians,
which is pretty close to Joey's heart, you know, I think he's part Cherokee or something like that.
I think so as well. And it's always a highlight of the set when he rips out the Indian headpiece there as well. So,
part of the video and all that kind of stuff. So a bit of
but you know what the other thing I liked about this album, I mean, besides the album being awesome, having watched all the videos that came along with it, the band was on fire on stage as well. They just looked like a band that was having fun. You know, and everyone knows how much I love to see bands just getting out there, enjoying it and having fun and not taking themselves too seriously. These guys, they were loving life at this stage, and they never topped this. And maybe that's part of it. Maybe after this, a bit of the pressure came on. But here it was Anthrax just being Anthrax. I'm like Mick, I can't fault this album. I have to give it a 10 out of 10. It's a standout for me.
Cool. Well, the one thing that's undeniable about this band is they have a different attitude to what they do than all the other big four bands. Where they're all there, the other three are trying to be serious and all sort of stuff. These guys just have fun. It shines through. It helps set them apart as a band. Much more street level than the other bands.
Well, they're wearing board shorts and bits and pieces, very surfer-like. You know, it's almost suicidal tendencies.
Almost, yeah. There's the crossover kind of thing kicking in.
Well, they did. I mean, they also got the whole rap people in there as well.
Oh, that was, I think that was around the time when they were starting to, branch into that.
So, like I said before, they were having fun, but yeah.
No, well, they were more experimental than the rest as well, which is cool.
Yeah.
These guys have a looseness about their performance that really fits their style. It's not sloppy, though it might seem like it's going to go down that path, but it's just got to feel unlike other thrash bands when you listen to this one. The performance is solid. There's still growth to come for mine, but you can sense they've just got this flow to how to do things, and it works well for them. That's the fun part. Like, the way they play together as a unified force is cool. Yeah. They use space really well within the writing of the songs. They got a cool groove that's really energetic. It's just that little bit raw, but that's what makes this fun to listen to. Infectious songs that really get you up and going. The use of backing or gang vocals really have that crossover aspect, which they would go into further. And the timing changes certainly mix things up nicely. The flip side of that is that it can, for me, get a little bit disjointed at times as an overall listen. Lyrics are good. As you learn with this band, they've always got the mix of the fun, the serious, the comic book themes and all that sort of stuff, the horror, the political stuff, it's all in there. Go to the light. A band that's aware of the world around them in a more consumerist way and uses that advantage well. That said, there's a barb to the lyrics. Like, it's meant to make you sit up and sort of think when you start to listen to lyrics in particular.
It's really not as jokey as the image perceives. Yeah. You know, if you delve into it, there's some... quite some...
it's very dry as well.
Yeah, some good subject matter in there, so at times. Absolutely.
Cool. I thought the production was interesting. It was captured pretty well, it has a nice balance, but I thought the vocals were cutting through too much and they were a bit too dry in the way they were just sort of pushed forward too much. They almost pulled me out of the songs a little bit, which... It's not so bad when it's cranked up really loud, but if you don't crank it really loud, it tends to really leap out at you. And I like an album that can you can play it a bit softer if you want to, and it still sounds really well blended as opposed to just cranking it up. The overall tones are great. Everything is good. Just need a little bit more reverb on those vocals, just to soften them up, just a touch. It works on the gang vocals the way it is, but not so much on the lead vocal.
Okay.
But I like the way this album is laid out. The mid-song switches help keep it fresh, but long songs make for a long album. I thought this one did suffer from that a little bit. It's good, but when you listen to this on repeat listens, it just sometimes feels like it drags its feet. For mine, obviously, on the outside of this one. But they did write some iconic songs on this record that have truly stood the test of time, though, and they hold up damn well today. Those moments really brighten this album up at just the right times too, so they did that really well. There are times on this, like for Indians and all that sort of stuff, that you just want to turn it right the fuck up and just start going nuts.
Yeah, just that drum intro.
It's
just like, that's 10 seconds of that. It's like, fuck yeah.
Off you go, and you know where you're going with that. I like the exploration of different tones on this one. The acoustic stuff in the medley was a cool little change on things. I thought overall the songs are all individually good. Maybe just trim them down by 30 seconds a pop, just to sort of sharpen the album up a little bit for mine. Someone's disagreeing with me out there, but that's okay. It's just my opinion. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, well, Horror of It All is almost 8 minutes. I mean, you can trim a bit of that.
We're going to edit a lot of this out, so don't worry. It's all good, especially his stuff.
Says the guy who doesn't do the editing.
Exactly.
I gave this one an 8 out of 10. Still a good score, just not as high as you guys. Indians, One World, Caught in a Mosh, and A Skeleton in the Closet were my standouts. Check it out for yourselves and let us know what you think.
Nice.
Oh, hey. No applause for that one. I killed the vibe.
No.
So what do you want us to do next? We still have Spreading the Disease, Hell Awaits, Steady For You, South of Heaven. Those two? Which two?
Which two?
Euphoria and South of Heaven? No?
Seasons
Disease
of the
and Hell
Abyss.
Awaits?
Okay.
All right, cool.